What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action. Spawning on the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Poseidon. His name is 3antozz. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is the Rapl. The map is indeed Midgard. I actually don't think I've seen Midgard played on of late. I haven't seen, sorry, not Midgard, Mediterranean played on of late. I haven't seen many games played on this map. So we'll see if anything changes here, if these guys go for some different strategies. There are other strategies you can do, apart from the standard meta strats of like dock rushing into trireme wars. There's lots of options. So we'll see how this game works. And what's going to happen here is the villagers getting going here. Generally speaking, we do see Greek players going for early wood into their food. I think that it very much depends on your strategy here. I don't think you should be doing this build. I don't think you should be doing this build. Now, the reason why I think you shouldn't be doing this build is because saving these pigs can be worth it in a lot of situations. And the fact that you get this extra fishing ship out just a little bit faster doesn't really matter all too much. In fact, if you can save the pigs, sometimes you can find yourself in a much better position if you go for some other strategies, which are not going to be available to you without these pigs here. Things like semi-fast heroics on Mediterranean are actually really, really strong. And we are seeing right here that 3antozz is going to be fine because he's got the lure. I'm more talking about those gods like Zeus and Hades who don't have access to the food right in their base. So small things like that might be something to consider when you're going for these builds that the pros do. Now, we do see currently Rapl gathering up this Auroch here. He's a great hunter, got a bunch of goat pigs. They are pigs here. Yes, they are pigs. They're smiling at me down the bottom. Look at them. And yeah, he's got an extra Auroch here. He's got the extra pigs. I'm interested to see what time Rapl gets up here. He's actually looking like he's going to be putting a forward temple down because his Ulfsark is very far forward. You do not want to run your Ulfsark into your opponent's base, because that gives away that you're probably going to put a forward temple down. And I love this here from 3antozz. He's scouting around trying to figure out where the temple is. And this temple here doesn't necessarily have to be... Excuse me. This temple here doesn't necessarily have to mean that Rapl is going for a classical land rush. Now, classical land rush here can work. It can be fine. But I don't necessarily have to do this. You can go Freya, get the free Valkyrie right into your opponent's base instantly, into a fast heroic, and get yourself Walking Woods Mountain Giant. And we'll see if that's what Rapl's going to do. He's got a lot of food in the bank, not a lot of gold here. He's just about to click up. He's going Freya. He's getting himself an extra Ulfsark, and it's looking like 3antozz is going to have the advantage here of about 30 seconds on the water. That equates to 4 ship advantage off of 2 docks. So we'll see if this is going to be a problem or not. Rapl currently has a lot of villagers currently over on the wood, a lot on gold, just 4. So it is looking like Rapl is going to be going for some sort of water fight. He's getting up that second dock over on the side. I like this. You can kind of hide some fish over on this side. There is a hippocampus here, who's going to be floating around doing its thing. But you can get the dock here and the dock over here and sneak some fish for the time being. Or Rapl can just simply get a couple of docks over here. And it doesn't look like 3antozz has spotted this one here. He's got no idea this is here. The Valkyrie and a Herser coming in immediately. There is already a Theseus here. So this is going to be very, very nice for Rapl. He's actually gotten 2 Herser out here. That's going to be a big, big pain for 3antozz to deal with here, to be honest, because because he basically needs to get a polity here to hold on, because the Theseus isn't going to be enough. We've even got an Ulfsar coming in here as well. There's the Pestilence onto one dock as the fishing ships are going to be able to retreat here. I would have loved to have seen an attempt here of Rapl to move some fishing ships over to this side instead of getting every one of them idled over here. As more units streaking in onto this position, we do see a forest fire onto here, which is already set up for 3antozz to simply just walk away from it. But luckily for Rapl, the storehouse is not going to get taken down with that forest fire. That storehouse is going to live there and not going to get two free militia in there. As the fishing ships still just retreating back into their dock. And 3antozz has got all the advantage on the water now. We are seeing an attempt at getting some longboats out, but Rapl's food situation is going to be struggling just a little bit as Rapl is searching around for where to attack. We see the house. I love those houses there for 3antozz. Going to be able to block in the wood miners or wood choppers down over here. Very, very nice play from him. As the villagers return over onto this gold mine, we even see an attempt at moving up onto this gold mine, but Odin's got map hacks. Odin should be able to see this most of the time. He's got two ravens. You can see both sides of the map on both gold mines, and we are now seeing those longboats coming out. Though a couple of fishing ships are falling onto this location here as more longboats coming in. We've got 9 longboats here, and they're going to get pulled back. But now we've got the Cyclops walking into Rapl's base. Very, very nice play here from 3antozz. He's recognized that the forward temple means no Herser in Rapl's base. So now Rapl has to get a whole bunch of damage done to justify this forward temple because he's currently pushed off of this gold mine. And where can Rapl go right now as the longboats pushing forward right past the trireme? There's so many more longboats than trireme right now, so he's going to easily be able to win this fight 8-10 here. And he has the obvious advantage of having an extra DPS, which is extra 3 DPS on each of these ships than his opponents. So he's got such an advantage. He's going to win that water hard. The problem still being there's a Cyclops here. One option here for Rapl would be to make an Ulfsar, which he can't afford, and get a temple out, which he can't afford, and be fine. But he's got 600 wood in the bank. He could simply just take a lot of villagers off of wood over here, move over onto the gold mine. We are starting to see this wind wall get taken down. So Theseus is going to be moving around onto this location. More houses getting thrown down. And the longboats of Rapl getting some very, very nice value here. As this is the kind of Mediterranean I'm talking about. We got action everywhere. It's not just a water map. You've got land you have to deal with as well. As the Ursa sneak in here, the villagers shanking away. Have to pull that Ursa back, but it's not going to happen as the Valkyrie are going to be coming in here, and we will be seeing Rapl having to retreat away as now the villagers make their way over onto this location. The Cyclops is going to come in. If Rapl doesn't pay attention to this one, he's going to immediately lose the villager. Nice micro there from Rapl. He's going to have to pay very, very close attention to this because the Cyclops can simply just turn around, pick up a villager, kill the villager, and then he can throw the villager into the sentry tower there and deal some damage. But obviously trying to kill this Cyclops off such a strong unit here. Still seeing an attempt at attacking this location, but the Valkyrie has been picked off over here as well. Villagers happily mining away at this gold mine right now. The longboat's getting pushed back. Population situation is 62 population. For Rapl to 3antozz is 58 population. And now we see the Cyclops making his way over onto this gold mine. Sometimes it's best to not go for the closest second gold mine and make a very large jog over to this gold mine. As we see an attempted micro there, but not quite working out there for Rapl. Loses 1 more villager and loses 2 more villagers as the Cyclops does end up falling. And what's the villager population? 23 for Rapl to 32 for 3antozz. As 3antozz has managed to defend very, very nicely on the pressure, whereas Rapl has been under immense pressure from essentially a free myth unit there as well. So really, really smart play from 3antozz, not overreacting to that rush and putting the pressure back on. And now we see Rapl here, 12 trireme to 10, 12 longboats to 10 trireme. Again, still in an advantage for Rapl. If I'm in this situation for Rapl here, I tend to believe that Norse on Mediterranean generally speaking, you don't want to push into your opponent until you're at full population. When you're at full population, you have such an advantage here. But Rapl is going to keep going at it. He's giving 3antozz an opportunity to utilize the dock defense here. The extra range the Trireme have is not really coming into it. And the focus fire from Rapl is out of this world good. This is exactly how you need to play the Norse Navy. The Norse Navy has got 5 or 0.5 speed less than every other possible navy in the game, apart from China. So when you're playing against your opponent, there is no retreat. There is only focus fire, and that's exactly what we're seeing Rapl doing here. But as it's happening, we've got 8 longboats to 8 Trireme. So 3antozz is currently in the lead here, and Rapl needs to get back. And this is one of those reasons why I think you don't need to fight. Just hang back, defend, sit underneath your docks until you have the big advantage. But not quite there for Rapl. And now 3antozz is going to be able to get onto the front foot again in a position where he can start utilizing that extra 2 range that he has, that extra 0.5 speed that he has. But 3antozz still not ready to push in. We do see some random houses around the map that's just kind of everywhere, just random red dots just hanging out everywhere here. And we'll see how this is all going to go, as any land shenanigans seems to have finished here. What I would like to see is Rapl spend some of that favor on Valkyrie from this temple and just keep putting pressure here. This is one of those reasons you can actually save the early pigs, put some villagers onto pigs instead of just wood and gold, which is generally the standard, and then you'd be able to make a bunch of Valkyrie here and put a lot of pressure onto the Greek player who's got no heroes at home at all right now. And there's the gold mine finishing up. We do see a house over here, the Raven chilling onto this location as well, as the longboat dance is continuing. But still, very close game here, though. It is looking like 3antozz's villager situation just a little bit better than Rapl's, even though both players are starting to get the economy sorted. Meanwhile, Theseus coming in for some raids. Theseus not quite as good as a Valkyrie because he can just get shanked away and it's completely fine. Which you can get like, was that 5 Valkyrie out? You are seeing some Hersa getting built here. But Hersa not going to be that good. And now Rapl making a move in. We've got 15 Trireme against the 17 longboats. There is a nice concave here from 3antozz, so he can use this to make a retreat back here. And we'll see how that's going to go, as Rapl trying to force the issue here. Even if we are kind of low on numbers here, 13 versus 12, but it's plus a dock, so that's kind of still very close to equal numbers. And that's definitely going to be a point at which the Greek navy is going to shine here, as Rapl has to retreat away, and 3antozz is going to be chasing these ships down as well. So we are seeing a longhouse over here. Is the Raven going to be spotting this one out? Imagine if Rapl had some units here, he would really be able to put the pressure on, but he's just been spending everything on the navy at this point. I'd love to see a wall over here just to block this off, but there is a nice Trireme just hanging out here as well. As the Ulfsark does end up getting taken down here. And 3antozz is definitely going to have to think about maybe making a barracks or 2 archery range over here and just holding on to this location. Because if he gets pushed off the gold, he does lose this game. So that might be a very difficult situation for 3antozz to be in. But he does have the 500 gold already. He's got a lot of villagers currently on food, eating those pigs, ready to go up to the heroic age himself. Maybe through Dionysus, if he goes Dionysus into some of those Thracian horse cavalry. And also having a free Scala can definitely help him win this water situation, which is currently still very close, though it's looking like 3antozz is getting a little bit of an advantage here as he decides to retreat away. You do have to just click on how many Trireme you have versus how many your opponent has. So you see 13 versus 17. That's an advantage for the Greek player, so you don't have to retreat there. You just select your opponent's Trireme and just see. I think if you, well, it's hard. So if I click onto 3antozz, you have to kind of go like this from the back, and then you go, okay, how many do I have? And you go, okay, I can fight this. And that's now ready for 3antozz to make this move in, doing a lot of good damage here, as Rapl trying to retreat micro here, but you can see it doesn't work all too well, and 3antozz is going to clean up this navy here, it seems like. But it's late enough now in the game. Rapl should be able to get himself a second town center here, or go kind of all in on the land. He's starting to spam out those Ulfsark, but guess what? 3antozz is going to be able to go to the heroic age. He's going to be able to get Curse. He's going to be able to min defend this with Curse as the villagers turn around and start fighting back. And we still don't see, we see some Hersa coming, but we still don't see those Val Valkyrie from Rapl. And I feel like that is such a big mistake from Rapl. Building this Ulfsark, building these Hersa. We do see military academies now coming down as 3antozz still not advancing. Maybe he has forgotten his armory. Yeah, it looks like he's currently forgotten his armory here, so not able to advance even though he's got all the resources to do so. And Rapl's going to get a lot of value out of fighting here. Meanwhile, all of the longboats are falling, and Rapl needs to take villages off of wood, and that's exactly what he's doing now, moving everything over onto the food. He's got 700 wood in the bank. He just needs to get all that food out and really put the pressure on, but hoplites are now starting to come out. Longhouse is getting dropped down. Still no armory, it looks like, for 3antozz. He might be trying... Well, he's surely goes for a town center. That's wild. I would have thought clearly heroic age here. Probably through Aphrodite is the easiest hold as the military academies are hit. But just imagine Forest Fire. Just open this up. Very, very good. We are seeing the Theseus making his way back, walking straight past the Pelt of Argus. Very sad relic. Not that the relic's bad, it's the relic's sad because he very rarely gets picked up. It's a decent relic. Anyways, still not making anything out of here. And 3antozz not going to be going to the next stage anytime soon. 2 military academies making those hoplites. Someone's been listening to the meta. Poseidon players making hoplites is standard. Yes. Yes. Even now, it's standard. Let's go. You're just trying to retreat away here for Rapl, but there is no gap here. There is a tree in the way, and it says you're not allowed past. And Rapl just deletes the longhouse and saves one Ulfsark. There you go. And there goes medium infantry coming through as well. Another Cyclops is out for 3antozz. Still no town centers down for Rapl here, as the villagers very interestingly just trying to navigate how to build a storehouse. It's a very difficult situation to be in a lot of the time. And we see 3antozz getting sick of it, and he deletes the storehouse there. And there he goes. This is possibly one of the most inefficient wood choppers you've ever seen. But doesn't matter, as he's trying to push through with the help of the Cyclops. But the army flood from Rapl has come out now, and that's going to force 3antozz back. 96 pop to 106 though. Obviously, a lot of that is still in trireme, so it's not going to matter all too much, as the Cyclops going to get kind of surrounded here, not allowed to retreat. But he has a slippery fella, as he does manage to get back into this location. I would love to see him just turn around, pick up an Ulfsark there, as he just has the complete blockage there. But trireme now ready to help out. You're not going to be able to push through here. You've got to push through this military academy over here, because these trireme deal so much damage. They're so scary on the shore, but Rapl just simply going to retreat away and decide to go elsewhere. He's going to maybe make his way through this location here, as we see medium archers coming through for 3antozz as well. And now this is going to be opened up, but the question is, does it matter all too much? I think 3antozz just needs to throw down like 5 or 6 more military buildings, and then he's going to be able to hold here. He's trying to throw up a stable question mark against this army. It would be very, very bad, but we'll see how it's going to go. The throwing axe dealing good damage against these hoplites over here. The villagers turning around, ready to start fighting this one. It is 66 villagers plus 10 fishing ships versus 51 villagers, but the army here from Rapl, very, very strong. The village is going to be attempting to push back here, and they're doing a good job of it as well. It's such a villager advantage. You can kind of just throw these villagers in with the help of those Toxotes in the back, the hoplites in the front. It's going to be very, very difficult to pick them all off. The throwing axe, and if they start targeting down villagers, deal very little damage. And there we go. 3antozz going to be starting his shanking. You have to kind of split up your villagers and micro this quite a lot. But it looks like Rapl has to get pushed back there. 95 pop to 85 pop as some more military buildings getting thrown down there. We've got the military academy. We've got the archery range. Need a whole bunch of them in this situation. Lots of resources in the bank for 3antozz right now, as we do see some side archery ranges coming down. Villagers getting pulled off of the berries here as they're ready to come in and shank these villagers. The villagers have not alt-est, and they will get pushed away as as Toxotes are getting trained out of this location straight into the archery range. I like that. Take your time. Don't need to pop them out straight away. Just wait for everything here. And we do see a lion, unfortunately, getting a little bit angry at that villager for building a stable. Never, ever would you ever want to build a stable in against the Norse player. And yeah, we see a stable from 3antozz. Shake my head. Unless the Norse player is going for raiding cavalry and you want to make pro-promise, then you could possibly make some stables there. Anyways, we move onwards and upwards. The Toxotes can completely massacre this infantry-based army of Rapl, and Rapl is just not able to make any more movement forward here. And I'll say it once, I've said it once, I'll say it again. This game, had Rapl transitioned onto food earlier and made Valkyrie, he would have done so much damage, so much more damage than even holding onto the water was worth it here. And Rapl, in the end, does decide to tap out in that moment. But 100 favor in the bank at a point there. Make 5 Valkyrie and just run rampant through the Poseidon player's base. Could have been so nasty here, but we just saw Longbow running into long triremes, and unfortunately, Rapl didn't really play that optimally there. I do think he was in a good position for a very, very strong portion of this game, but unfortunately, the attempt to push 3antozz off the water when there wasn't a real advantage to be had there was just not the answer there. And 3antozz did manage to capitalize on the aggressive play that Rapl was trying to execute on the water there. Anyways, GG, well played. I really do like the attempt to go land and water. A little bit of land, water. Very, very smart from Rapl. That's something I would love to see more of for Norse players. It's one of the big advantages of Norse, just in general, is they can build anywhere on the map. But if you did enjoy this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.